Hey, what's going on? It's me, Deja Vu. Listen, you know I love to play all your favorite songs, but I love it even more when we have our favorite celebs in the building. Miss Keshia Knight Pulliam is here. Woo-hoo.
Hello.
How are you?
I am so good. I'm
Looking
wonderful.
fabulous.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you, darling. All right, so you've been busy. You're here hanging out at the station now, but I saw you doing press. You've got a big movie dropping tomorrow.
I do.
The Wife Stalker.
Wife Stalker on Lifetime, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central.
Oh, get the time zones,
yes,
girl. You better do it.
Check your local listings. Find Lifetime one way or another.
Listen, I heard the title that I'm like, I know this. I have the Audible book.
You do.
Girl, I love Liv Constantine.
Okay, so listen, don't give it away.
I'm not.
Don't give it away.
But I've already seen the trailers and all that. It's good. So give us the synopsis. What are you playing?
You know, I am Joanna, and looking in someone's life, you never know what's going on behind closed doors.
Right.
So, you know, she's this woman who seemingly has it all, you know, the family, the children, the husband, the life that she's dreamt of. But, you know, here comes a curveball. So Grace Byers plays Piper. Who kind of shakes things up a little bit.
Yes.
So it's very interesting, and it honestly, it's so unexpected. A lot of times you watch a movie and you're like, oh, I know what's going to happen. This is so predictable, but this is not one of those movies.
It's real twisty.
Yes. It was just such a talented cast and crew, from, you know, Elizabeth Rom, who's the director, to Trey and Grace Byers, who are real life husband and wife.
How was that, working on the set with the real life husband and wife?
It was fine.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's funny because my husband and I work together a lot on set. And so it's what we do. So I get it 100% wholeheartedly. And they were absolutely lovely, talented, amazing. So I couldn't ask for, you know, better co-stars. But also, you know, it was our first time, you know, having worked together ever.
Oh, really?
And
did you know them industry-wise?
I did not. I knew of them. Of course, I know their work. So I was excited to have the opportunity, because, you know, you want the whole cast to be amazing.
Absolutely.
And this cast is amazing.
How did you find out about the project?
Well, you know, I was sent the script. I was offered the role of Joanna, and I read it. And when I read it, I was like, ooh, this is good.
Yeah.
And I'm also an executive producer on the project.
Come on, executive producer.
So, you know, I love the ability to tell just great stories.
Yes.
And, you know, Elizabeth being an actor outside of being a director as well. I know that because I'm a director as well. And it's just amazing. I love working with her because it's a different eye when you've been on the other side of the camera too. It's a different way. It's a different way you communicate. It's a different way you do things. So it was a joy. It was a joy. It was a little, you're going to see it's a little spicy.
It's a little
spicy.
All right, so this is airing on Lifetime tomorrow.
Yes.
Now, from The Wife Stalker, let's roll things, rewind, roll things back. I was reading and it said you got your first industry acting gig at 9 months.
Yes, it was a print ad for Johnson & Johnson baby products.
Wow.
And the funny thing is, because I'm from New Jersey, I'm from right across.
Yes, I saw that too.
Yeah.
I don't think I realized that.
So, like, I grew up listening to WBLS.
Come
like,
on.
I'm
Wait,
just
say it again. Say it again.
WBLS.
Woo!
So
They don't
my
take the
mom,
job
let
now.
me, no. So I'm never that. Listen, there's enough for everybody out here. I
know,
operate
that's
from
right.
a space of abundance. What's for you is for you, and no one else can interrupt that. And
Come
what's
on.
for me is for me. But yeah, so my mom is definitely. I know all her friends. She's probably called everybody.
My baby's on the radio.
Yes,
Y'all
and my
tune in.
dad. But both of my parents, you know, are from Jersey. So yeah, it's like being home when I come here to promote stuff.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So you were a kid in the business.
Yeah.
We all saw and got to know and love you on the Cosby Show.
Yeah.
And then you grew up. And I'm wondering, I wanted to ask, because you read about child stars and different things. How did you avoid the pitfalls?
Learn what not to do.
Like
you know,
what?
sometimes it's just that. Like, you see what people have done that have come before you. You see the road that it has taken them down, and sometimes the best lesson you learn from someone is what not to do. That's a very valuable lesson as well.
Yeah.
You know, it's a combination of that, and I have a great foundation. You know, I have a great family, and working on a show like the Cosby Show with such greats. You know,
Yes.
it was a very different experience. It was about understanding the greater responsibility you have, you know, to the world, to telling the story, to our culture. That was something, you know, it's not what you say, it's what you do.
Right.
And that was the example that was given. So, both Mr. Cosby, Felicia, college graduates, Tempest, Malcolm were at NYU the last couple seasons. I'm a Spelman College graduate. So, they just not like us. I don't know a better way to say it.
Come on.
In the words of the Kendrick Lamar.
the great prophet Kendrick Lamar. All right, so when did you realize, was there a pivotal moment that you realized you were a part of something that was changing and shifting the cultural zeitgeist with the Cosby Show? Was there one moment or maybe a couple?
In the midst of it, no. You're just living your life. This is my normal. I don't have another frame of reference.
Right.
Because you're living your day. You're living your life every day. And it's after you look back is what becomes the legacy. After you look back is what's the history. But you have to be present every moment in your life. And when you're doing that, it's not from the perspective of that. At least for me, it wasn't.
Of course.
I was a kid, but I can definitely say as you grow up and people come up to you and they're like, oh my goodness, because of you and your show, you were my best friend. You were my little sister. I wanted to go to an HBCU because of the Cosby Show, or I knew it was possible to be a lawyer. I knew it was possible for me to be a doctor. I knew it was possible to have a loving family because that's not what I experienced in my household, but you all showed me something different. And that right there is the beauty of it.
Yeah, that's amazing. And just to be able to look at this and say, because of you or the acting and the things that you did in there, it's got to be like, kind of mind-blowing, like almost surreal.
I'm grateful.
Yeah.
I'm grateful.
And you were around the greats. Do you still speak to the people from there? Are y'all still cool?
No, Malcolm is like him. Our daughters are like almost best friends. They love and adore one another.
Yeah.
He actually has a podcast called Not All Hood. I just did an episode of his podcast last week. He's family. Him, his wife. Yeah. They're our family. So they actually live in Atlanta as well. So we see them often.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing. All right. So outside of the Cosby Show, you were doing like reality. I was looking. I don't think I realized how many reality things, and you were bossing these reality shows.
Oh, that was a while ago. That was
I know. That was
long time ago.
That was the beginning. The beginnings of, but you were still holding it down.
Yes, I won a couple of these. So,
Would you go back to do it again?
No, the closest I will do is host Married at First Sight After Party, which I also co-executive produce and talk to the other people who have decided to do these crazy things. No, but I really love the show, and that's how it all originated. Mm-hmm. So I love the opportunity to sit down and really kind of get understanding of what was the experience like. What are you going through? What have you learned from this experience? I really enjoy that. And, for me right now, it's definitely doing things that are on both sides. For that, I'm also on the producing side with House of Pain. I also direct. We just had our mid-season premiere on BET, and it was actually an episode that I directed.
Yes!
That came on this past week. So I'm just enjoying life. I'm living life. I'm enjoying my family, my children, and just, doing what makes my heart smile.
See, that's the greatness, the freedom, and understanding who you are and where you want to be. That's amazing. So you're saying you're doing more producing and directing. What is your dream project? What if you could do anything, what would you want to do?
I don't limit it. I love telling stories. Mm-hmm. So I love telling great stories.
But is there a different kind of genre?
No, I love telling great stories that I enjoy. Yeah. This is very different for me because I'm not a thriller girl. Like Wife Stalker is very different, but it was a great story.
Yeah.
So I couldn't deny that. My husband and I have projects that we're working on. I've also executive produced and narrated documentaries. So with my partner, Shaquita Lockley, Eggs Over Easy, which was on OWN. It's all about Black maternal health. So it's a lot of different buckets that I'm working in. So it's doing things that inspire me, and how does it reverberate and pay it forward?
I love that. We're wrapping up Women's History Month.
Yeah.
Are there any mentors from afar? Maybe somebody that you just admire that has, been someone that you like, I dig what she's doing or has done.
I don't have to look far. My mom is.
Come on, mamas.
I don't have to look far. My mom is the Most amazing woman I know. And it's funny because I'll never forget in Spelman in a sociology class, I had this one teacher, bless her heart. She was just, she just was special, bless her heart.
When we bless your heart,
when you bless your heart, you're from the South. There's a lot that's not
bless
said.
Her heart.
She knows who she is. But regardless of it, the beauty of her is, sometimes you need the people who challenge you.
Right.
So that creates a space for you to be very clean and clear about who you are and what matters to you. So when you go to a school like Spelman, it's talking about the feminist movement and all of this, and we're talking about that. And I said the greatest thing to me about the feminist movement is that it allowed women to have the choice. Whether you want to go to work, whether you want to stay home with the kids, whether you want to do some combination in between, or if you don't even want to have a family or children. That's the beauty of it. And when we were having this conversation in this setting, they were kind of diminishing the value and the role of a housewife. And my mother was that and is that. And she is the most, when I tell you, when it comes to raising children, being there for her family, and now for her grandchildren, and the love and unconditional love and grace that she exudes, it's bar none. And I thank her all the time because she actually, once I had Ella, she's not only the executive director of my nonprofit, the Cam Kizzy Foundation, but she travels like she's normally with us. She has been there. She's with me and my kids every day, helping me with the kids. And I couldn't imagine anyone else spending that much time with them outside of me. When I realized, I have to get a nanny, I'm like, I'll pay my mama what you need.
How much you want?
How much do you want? Because there is no one else that I could trust more than her.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
So, you said something about people not understanding the stay-at-home mom or the homemaker.
Yeah.
The work is never done.
No,
it's
you don't get off
going
days.
on.
And I know
exactly.
this because I'm a very hands-on mom. My children are with me right here while we're on this trip. And, I was up till 2-3 o'clock this morning, even though hair and makeup was coming to the hotel at 6 a.m. Because my daughter wasn't feeling well. So when that happens, family takes precedent over everything.
Absolutely.
That's why I do what I do. But at the end of the day, I also show her the example that I can be present and loving, and her and her brother know that, and my husband know that they're my priority, but they also know the importance it is for me to get up and to work and to do these things also.
And you're showing that example to her.
Yay.
Right,
we have a late night. Look, you get up, you get what you need to get done, and then I will rest after, because rest is also very important.
Yes.
And restoration. I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, you want to go. I'm so booked and busy. No. I will be at the house.
Listen, I am learning the value of sleep. Girl.
I don't sleep much. I have an almost 2-year-old, so I don't get much sleep.
Oh, okay. But no, I have
try.
been going, and I slept in. I was like, is this what sleeping till 7 feels like?
It's a beautiful thing. Wait, is the sun up?
Is the sun? Wait, what is this brightness I see?
What is this?
What is this? Now, you're talking about working and resting.
Yeah.
Would you allow the kids to get into the acting business or entertainment industry?
Absolutely. My job as a mom is to support them in their dreams, whatever those look like. I have no agenda for them besides supporting them and encouraging them to be the best versions of themselves and to be amazing human beings first. What you do in terms of what you choose to do from there, that's up to you. But being an amazing human being in our household is a non-negotiable. You treat people with kindness. You treat people the way you desire to be treated. You lead with empathy and love. And that's the foundation of what we teach in our home. But yeah, she's already interested. She's sad because she wanted to be on this press tour with me. She's like, Mommy, I need to come with you. That's why I'm coming with you so that I can help you promote your movie. And I'm going to be in your next movie with you, Mommy.
Come on, speak it, little baby Ella.
I have 2 children who are full of personality. Do you hear me? My daughter.
Where did they get it from?
They got it honest. I can't even be mad. My daughter is copy and paste. Any mom who has a daughter and you look at her like, ooh, you are me. I can't even say nothing. Okay.
Right.
But it's just honing that, it's just encouraging that, I'm raising a bold, just articulate, loving little girl who has no concerns about taking up space or knowing that she's knowing innately that she is enough.
Yeah.
And she is supposed to be in any and every room that she is entering.
That is
because that's
awesome.
where she's supposed to be. So she's actually I'm actually having to help her because she's like, Mommy, when I get to school, so we're going to do a slideshow. And about the trip, so I can tell them the behind the scenes of what she do. She's 8, mind you.
Okay.
So I'm having to like document and take the pictures for her because she's not feeling well. But this is my child, so
she's like, make sure you get this angle, Mom.
yeah, she's very, very serious.
That's
very
amazing.
Serious.
All right, so you said Camp Kizzy.
Yes.
Talk to us about that.
It's my nonprofit I've had over a decade. It's all about empowering and self-esteem, just empowering youth. At the end, I was a sociology major with a concentration in film at Spelman. So really understanding just the value of, pouring into our kids.
Absolutely.
Because you want them to learn it the right way first. Not that there's a right and a wrong or polarizing it, but it's easier to instill the greatness in them instead of having to come back and do damage control. So, during COVID.
That's a whole t-shirt right there, the quote right there.
Yeah.
It's easier to instill the greatness instead of having to come back and do the damage control.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we've, COVID kind of shook up a lot of things. So we have been kind of regrouping and seeing what that looks like in an in-person. But also my daughter, she has her foot on my neck. She's like, Mommy, what are we doing for Camp Kizzy? I want to see the girls. When are we going to camp? What are we going to do it? So, we're working on that behind the scenes, and whether it's, whatever the iteration looks like.
What are the ages?
Well, it was 11 to 16, but we are going to widen that. So it'll probably be going older when we come back, because the funny thing is we just did a Camp Kizzy at the end of last year, a Camp Kizzy homecoming, where a lot of my girls now who came through are mothers themselves, are working, are college graduates, are successful. And they're like, and the funny thing, I walked into Dwayne Reed just yesterday. My daughter, again, wasn't feeling good, so I went to go get some stuff. Like, okay, let's get this together. And one of my Camp Kizzy girls, I heard someone go, Miss Keshia. And I looked, and I knew her face. But the thing is, they were little, so they look different right now. Where I look kind of the same. So it's easier. So I'm looking at them. I'm trying to place it. She's like, Camp Kizzy. And it made my heart just smile that I'm randomly walking into a Dwayne Reed in New York City, and this grown woman is looking at me saying hello. So, with that, a lot of my girls are like, okay, we need an adult Camp Kizzy. Now that we're older, we still need your help. What are we going to do now? So I'm looking at all of the different iterations and ways that it can look and feel going forward.
That is beautiful, because that's purpose right there that is already coming to fruition.
Yeah.
I love it. That's amazing. Yeah. Okay, and lastly, before you get out of here, before we talk more of the Wife Stalker, make sure you're watching it tomorrow.
Yes.
Give us a hustler's tip. I like to ask people to give me, who've been in the industry, some advice that you might tell someone who's trying to not just be in this industry, but in anything, a hustler's tip that they need to be aware of or that you've learned.
Well, I don't do the hustle part.
Okay.
So I may reword this. 2 things. Never, ever let anyone steal your joy. And it only takes one yes.
Only takes what?
One yes.
Only takes one yes to get you where you need to be.
Because so often people are like, well, in industry specifically like this, you get a lot of no's. And, but it only takes one yes. And what's for you is for you, and it will never miss you. Yeah. So that must not be for you. What I know is that the universe is always conspiring for my highest good and to give me my heart's desire. So make sure that your thought, word, and deed are in alignment, because that's what's manifesting into your reality.
You're dropping so many gems in here, and the energy is just so peaceful, though. I like it. It is. Have you done books?
And I'm working on one.
Okay, yeah. I need to hear that. I need to hear more of these nuggets. We can do a whole seminar or something on this. Keshia Knight Pulliam, thank you so much for stopping by, and we can't wait to watch The Wife Stalker. You want to run the times again?
Oh, Lifetime, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central this Saturday, March 29th.